ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। So far we have studied some 8 mantras, and what we found here, the seekers of knowledge, they're discussing about the very origin of this universe. And what they found, that it is Brahman with Maya Shakti is the cause of this entire world. And we have seen what all that constitutes this world. And then in this samsara is this jiva wandering. And this jiva is wandering because of ignorance and considering himself or herself different from that Supreme Lord. But when slowly he starts worshipping that Lord, and the grace he receives, and the realization takes place and becomes immortal. And in the mantra number 8 we saw that it is this Lord who is sustaining the whole world. And also what we call the combination of the inert and sentient factor, the body and the jiva. And when this jiva jnatva devam uchyate sarvapashaihi, when this jiva knows that deva as his own true self, then is liberated from all bondages. This is what we have seen. And now continuing that thought, and at the same time pointing out some more aspects. Now here we find the Upanishad says, mantra number 9, page 42. Jnadnyau dvau ajavishanishau ajahyeka bhoktrubhogyarthayukta अनंतश्च आत्मा विश्वरूपो ह्यकर्ता त्रयं यदा विन्दते ब्रह्ममेतत्। It is said, Dyav, there are two factors. And Ajau, and both are unborn. Oh, and who are these two factors? Ajau, Isha, Anishau. One is Isha, other is Anisha. So Isha means the ruler, the Supreme Lord of the universe, the Lord. And Anisha, sometimes Anisha means totally powerless, or Anisha means we have got little power. You can't say it doesn't have any power. In the Bachu of Ishwar, so he has to have power. So some power has to be there. May not be all power, but some power he has got. Alpashaktiman. So Ajau, the Jiva and Ishvara, both of them are unborn. And what is the difference? Jnadnyau. One Nya, other is Adnya. This is Dvandva Samasa. In a grammatical language, those who know some grammar, it's called Dvandva Samas, dual. So, Nyascha, Adnyascha, Nyadnyau. So, Nya is Janati, iti Nyaha. Na Janati, iti Adnyaha. So, the Ishvara is one who knows everything, and Jiva is one who does not know. In one of our satsangs, in Gurudev's time, Swamiji's time, someone asked, a school-going student asked Swamiji, what is the difference between God and me? So he said, this is the difference. You ask, he doesn't ask. This answer is simple. Why he doesn't ask? Because he knows. And whether you don't know, in the Gita, Bhagavan said, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetta parantapa. Arjuna, you have had many, many births and lives. I also have. The difference is I know all of that. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. I know past, present, future, everything I know. But you don't know all that. And sometimes the Jiva says, how it will be nice if I also know. It is better we don't know. I say whatever Bhagavan does, everything is right only. Because whatever little we know in present time, so difficult to handle all that and to deal with that, isn't it? Suppose somebody has misbehaved with me in this life today, so difficult to deal with that. And suppose I remember all my past and with whom I misbehaved or they misbehaved and all that, there will be a problem. So it is good that we don't remember all that. But so the Jiva, by saying Adnya, the little power of knowledge is pointed out. Anisha, by saying that, power of action is like. Because Ishvara is Sarvadnya and Sarvashaktiman. The Lord is omniscient and omnipotent. And Jiva is little scient and little potent. So thoda sa has got little knowledge. Nya Adnyau. So one is all-knowing, the other is not all-knowing, little knowing. But he thinks that he knows everything. And particularly to our children, what to talk, They say in old age, man thinks that he doesn't know anything. In the middle age, he starts doubting whether I really know. Only the young ones think they know everything. They are so confident. One father asked the son, let us discuss about life. The son says, okay, what do you want to know? But they know everything. I tell you, these young boys and all, they are discussing some. If you go there and if you ask, what are you discussing? No use of telling, you won't understand. This is wonderful Jiva, This is the nature of the Jiva. Anyway, Nya, Adnya, Jiva, Ishvara and Jiva. Ajo, both of them unborn. And Isha and Isha, one is the Sarvashaktiman, other is Alpashaktiman, Anisho. This is the difference. And then he says there is one more factor. Jiva is there, Ishvara is there, and one more factor, Eka. There is one more. Oh, one more? Yes. And that one more is also called Aja. That also is unborn. These three factors, Ishvara, Jiva, and what is the third one more factor which is unborn? That's called Prakriti. Maya, Prakriti, that is. And what is that Prakriti? What is its job? Bhoktru Bhogyartha Yukta. The Prakriti is that which unites the Bhoktru. Bhoktru means the Bhokta, the Jiva. Bhogya, the object of enjoyment. So that is the Prakriti who unites the enjoyer with the object of enjoyment, and that is called the sense of individuality, and all that arises. Then the Jiva says, I'm a doer, I'm an enjoyer, I'm an experiencer. and I'm a sufferer. So many things he goes on saying that. So how many factors are there? 3 factors. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. That Jagat is a creation of that Prakriti only, and it is the Prakriti who is uniting the Jiva with the Bhogya Vastu. These are the 3 things, and all of them are unborn only. And we don't know when the birth and all that is there. So then the question is, so there are 3 factors. There are 3, but you are Advaiti, in Advaita they say there is only 1 factor, and now how come the 3 factors have come now? So it is said, but there is 1 more factor. I thought you are Advaita, non-dualist, but now you are 3 factors, now there is a 4th one also. Chaturvadi you are now, I think. Yes, he says, Anantascha Atma. And there is a supreme reality. Ananta, infinite is Atma. Vishwarupaha. Vishwarupaha, that which is only appearing in the form of the whole universe, of the universe of form. Akarta, and it is non-doer. Now what you will find, the Jiva has got the sense of doership. So there is a Kartrutva. Prakriti also creates this whole world. And the Prakriti is that which is uniting the Jiva with the Bhogya Vastu. But this Atma Tattva is Akarta, the 4th. Trayam yada vindate brahmavetat. And when that person comes to know that actually the absolute reality is this Ananta Atma, and what we call as Jiva, Prakriti or Ishvara, and Jiv, Jagat, Ishvara, all these 3 are nothing but this Brahman alone appearing as all this. Then, Vindatehi Brahmatattvam. That there are not 3. There is only 1. This is very beautifully said in the book Saddarshana of Ramana Maharshi. He said, Arabhyate jiva jagat paratma tattva vidhanena matam samastam. He says all these schools of thought, they begin with these explanations of 3 factors. That's called beginning, not ending. Idam trayam yavad aham mati syat. And all these 3 factors are there as long as I, the Jiva Bhava is there, then that is there. But otherwise, sarvottamaham mati shunya nishtha. But the best is where that aham mati is not there. See, you can experience the truth of it. See, when I am fast asleep, then I do not have any sense of I am so and so. Correct? So Jiva Bhava is not there. At that time, do I ask any question about myself or about this world? No. Do I ask any question about God also? Who is going to ask all that? But the moment I get up, suddenly that sense of I-ness comes. I. Then this world also there. And then where is my cup of tea? Immediately they say about that. And if the cup of tea is not there, why did God create this world? Suddenly I ask about why, what is God can't do this much also for me? So say, Jiva Bhava has come, so Jagat Bhava has come, Ishvara Bhava also there. And then when you see what happened, all the Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, everything, they have merged somewhere. So what does it appear? That there is some truth from where all these 3 factors, they arise. So now you see that three, yes. When some people say, I'm a dualist, there is Dvaita, correct, it is correct. I am Dvaita, I am Taitavadi. The three factors are there. Very good. Why should there only 3, 4? There are an infinite number, countless there are factors are there that way. Just didn't we see? 50 this and 16 that and 28 that, and didn't we see all those factors? There are so many factors are there. So then this realizes, oh, Ananta Atma. So the Jiva, Jagata, Ishvara, or Jiva, Prakriti, Ishvara, all these bhava, it is nothing but one Shuddha Chaitanya, infinite, Akarta, Bhokta. That alone is appearing as all this. And when you come to know that all these three are nothing but that Brahman, and that Brahma is only my Swarupa, then you are liberated. This is the knowledge that what we have to gain. So it begins with three, it begins with many, but ending in one only. Even material science and physics and all that also, if you see, the search is towards one only. They want to find out what is that one, knowing which everything will become known only. That's how everything is going towards that. Now, the same thing, difference and all that is pointed out, and again the same thought is beautifully said. Ksharam pradhanam amrutaksharam haraha. Ksharatmana vishate deva ekaha. Tasya vidhyanat yojanat tattvabhavat. Bhuyaschante vishwamaya nivrittihi. Now he said again, Ksharam pradhanam. Ksharam means perishable. Pradhanam. This pradhana word, sometimes it is called head, chief. That's also used in the meaning. But in Sankhya Yoga, the pradhana word is used for prakriti. Prakriti is pradhana. Pradhana. Why this pradhana word has come? Say in Sanskrit, the original dhatu is dha. Isn't it? Dha. So adhan, vidhan, pradhan. So the original is dha. Dha is to place, to keep. That's why dhanam, nidhanam. So dhanam with everything is placed there. Prakrishta nidhanam. Means what? The whole world is now gross, subtle, manifested. But when it becomes unmanifest, it has not disappeared, but it is there, everything placed properly. In your house also, when you take out everything for cleaning or this or that, everything is outside. Then you start putting everything, the whole almirah or whatever is there, they're called pradhanam. Everything is there now. Where all things are there? Safe. And when you travel also, the huge suitcase, in that so many things you put in, and you don't know how to close it, so you ask your child also to jump on it and to close it. And then a whole travel time you are worried that if custom officer asks you to open, what will happen and all that. वो प्रधान खुलता है ना तो घुड़ सृष्टि बाहर आती है फिर वहाँ पे the whole thing comes on. Pradhanam. So that pradhan is called prakriti, is called matter. And that matter is ksharaha, ksharati. It perishes. That is called ksharam pradhanam. Amrita aksharam. Now, that pradhanas direct at our individual level, what we see is our body. That is ksharam. And aksharam amritam. And amritam immortal, Aksharam imperishable, is the Jiva who is occupying this body. So at individual level, Kshara is our body, Akshara is Jiva. If you look at the totality, then the Samashti level is the total Pradhan, and that Ishvara is functioning through that. That also is Akshara only. Ksharam, Aksharam, and that is called Haraha. Haraha, Harati is the Ishvara. It takes away everything, all powerful. Now, Ksharat Mano Ishate Deva Ekaha. But there is one God. You see, in so many religions say, in our religion there is one God. In your religion there are many gods. You should read Shweta Shvatara particularly that Eko Deva has come so many times. Really speaking, logically speaking also, there can be only one God. How can there be many gods? See, suppose there are three religions. Religion A, religion B, religion C. And then religion A says, in our religion there is only one God. B says there is only one God. C also says there is only one God. Now you say, all this you are saying one God, they are the same or they are different? So if each one is saying, no, my God is different, so there is one God, there are three gods now. You are saying in your age there is one God. And the other one also saying one God. But are these two gods, are they one and the same or they are different? They have to say different. And if it's different, then to garbad ho gaya. So gods also will fight. So see, in Hindu religion also because logically if you think, there cannot be. There has to be one only. So many departmental heads can be there, many. But the head has to be only one head. So he says, Eko Deva. So there is one perishable factor. With reference to that, there is imperishable factor, relatively. But it is this Ishvara that it is ruling and controlling both of them now. The Jiva also and the ever perishing this body or matter. This matter, spirit, is ruled over by that one Ishvara. Now it is said, Tasya Abhidhyanat. By meditation on that, Yojanat, and connecting your mind with that, absorbing in it, and Tattva Bhavat, and then by realizing the very essential nature of that, then what happens? And there bhuyaha means repeatedly, because now our mind, see, mind has become such a peculiar, all the time wandering. Everybody goes on and say, when I sit for puja, my mind wanders. When I do japa, then also my mind wanders. And when I listen to the lecture, my mind wanders. When I sit for meditation, if at all I sit, then my mind wanders. Only while counting money, my mind doesn't wander. बाकी तो वांडर ही करते रहता है वैसे. And that's why we say bhuyaha. See, again and again to go on practicing. So what we have to do is, first we have to gain knowledge that there is only one reality which is appearing as three. Jiva, Jagat, Ishwar, or Jiva, Prakriti, Ishvara, it is appearing like that. Or it is only appearing as the, what you call the perishable matter and spirit. In this way it is manifesting, appearing. And I have to understand this Atma is my nature. Then Abhidhyanam, then meditate. And in meditate what you have to do? Yojanat. You have to absorb your mind in that. And when it is absorbed, Tattva Bhava, then the direct realization takes place. Yes. And when that happens, then what? Vishwamaya Nivrittihi. Then the total cessation of this whole appearance and illusion of the universe happens. In other words, you come to know that what you saw, the Jeev Jagat, is only relatively real. Apparently real. It is not something which is absolutely real. That's what you come to realize. That's called Vishwa Maya Nivritti. So that is what he said. This Abhidhyanam, Yojanam, and Tattva Bhava. Tattva Bhava Prasidati. Thereafterwards, that direct realization happens. So the idea is Abhidhyanam, Yojanam, again and again we have to do. Tattva Bhava will happen then. Then that experience will happen. Because when mind becomes more and more calm, quiet and all that, then automatically gets absorbed only in that. And then Vishwa Maya Nivritti, the cessation of illusion in the form of this world. And what we are wanted to know, this so many different. Like when we wake up from our dream, then all these Swapna Maya Nivritti takes place. Then we realize, whatever I saw, it was only I who appeared in all that form, What a strange thing. I only appeared in the form of that. And I was appearing for an examination, and I failed in my own examination. The question paper was set by me only, and I could not answer. Maya. उस समय तो कुछ पता ही नहीं चलता है, we don't realize. Everything appears so real. Now again says, when this knowledge takes place, then only Jnatva Devam Sarva Pashapahanihi Kshinai Kleshair Janma Mrityu Prahanihi Tasyabhidhyanat Tritiyam Deha Bhede Vishvaishwaryam Kevala Apta Kamaha. Jnatva Devam. Jnatva Devam means having known that Deva. Deva means Chaitanya Brahma. And Jnatva, please understand, Jnatva here, not only that we have read the literal meaning of that, and then I say, I know. Now we have only come to know that such a thing is there. Jnatva means, just now as it was pointed out, after Shravana, Mana, Nididhyasan, when we have really directly realized that, that's called Jnatva Devam. Then Sarva Pashapahanihi. Then what happens? The hani means destruction or snapping of all pashas, ropes, bondages. All they are cut off. Sarva Pashapahani. And all the pashas are what? Beginning with ignorance. Then ignorance created desires. Desire created then all the karmas. And the karma created all the results. And all the time results are, even though we want ananda, but lot of klesha only. That's why kshinai kleshaihi. Klesha, all kleshas go away then. When is a klesha? Whenever there is a clash, there is clash. Clash. When clash happens, is a clash or not? Clash means dukkha, sorrow, tension, all these things are happening. Variety of clashes are there. See, ignorance creates sorrow. Desires create sorrows. Then the karmas also create sorrows. Then the karma phalas also create sorrows. And then when things are not there, then there is sorrow. When things are there, there is sorrow. Every time only klesha. If you are a failure, then also of course you suffer. And when you are successful, then also suffer. Their success is relative. Because when you have success, you have many relatives. They suddenly, we don't know from where they pop up, crop up, this and that. Everybody start calling Mama ji, Chacha ji, और पता नहीं कहाँ से इतने सारे भतीजे भांजे उत्पन्न हो गए. We don't know any sudden. So, and immediately so many organizations come for donation. पहले कोई नहीं आता था. I was very happy. So there are, when things are there, then also there is a problem. When things are not there, then also problem. All the klesha, but all that is there because we don't know. If the truth is known, then sarva pasha pahanihi, then kshinai kleshaihi, all the kleshas also go away, and then janma mrityu prahanihi, and there is a total destruction of the cycle of this birth and death, janma mrityu prahani. Now see, one mrityu, janma mrityu is that what we understand, when we are born in a particular body, then that is called janma. And when that body is dropped, then we say that is mrityu, death. You know. But another meaning of janma mrityu is a constant change. Also it's called janma mrityu, because one change ends, the second begins. Actually in Vedantic language, janma is nothing but our identification with particular state of existence. That is called janma. And when we drop that identification with that, then it's called death. So it is a question of only identification. For example, suppose a thought of anger arises in my mind, and then I identify with that thought, an angry man is born or not immediately. Huh? Yes, angry man is born. Angry आदमी का जन्म कहाँ हुआ? तादात्म्य भाव. So a subtle way, our janma is nothing but identification. And the moment I drop that, I don't identify with that thought or dissociate myself. Where is that angry man? पता नहीं कहाँ चला गया. Now he is very happy. Now you can go and talk to him because he will speak sense. Because when the anger is there, don't we say that? He is very angry now at the moment. Leave him alone. उसको मरने दो अभी. मरने दो? मैंने अभी एंग्री आदमी को मरने दो जरा. मैं शांत होने दो. So after some time, that all identification, all that, very loving person is born again. And you can't believe few minutes ago you were so terrible. So the janma mrityu, you know, it is very, very subtle level we have to understand. But our buddhi is very gross. We understand only this janma. Janma, mrityu. But the constant changes are taking place. There is a birth and death. And then our sorrow begins only when we identify with it. Just because changes are taking place, our sorrows do not begin. Our sorrow is there when there is identification, attachment, expectation, and we don't want this to happen. Then only sorrow begins. Like suppose my body, I am identified with the body. Now the body is aging. Suppose I know body, that is dharma, sharir dharma, it will age. There is no sorrow. I don't have to try to show myself that I am a very young man. Because however I may try to show in old age that I am young, but when I climb the staircase, everybody will know how old I am. So therefore, why unhealthy pretending? Age gracefully, you know. And actually old age of people respect also old person. And if you unnecessarily show that you are young and all that also. So the body is changing. And if I know that this is the dharma of body, and I accept it also, so then where is the problem? But when I don't accept it, then all these problems. So klesha begins. So janma mrityu prahani, you must understand what is janma mrityu. All the sorrows caused by the birth and death and our identification with different states of existence of body or mind or the intellect and all that, all the kleshas go away. So we have to become more and more subtle in our thinking. Jnatva devam sarva pashapahanihi kshinai kleshaihi janma mrityu prahanihi. Then tasya abhidhyanat. And when does it happen? Jnatva devam. So you come to know through study of the Shastra from the Guru Mukha, etc. Then tasya abhidhyanat. And then you keep on meditating on that. Then tritiyam deha bhede. Deha bhede. And then what happens? Deha bheda. On the destruction of the body. Of the means in meditation, our identification with the body when it is dropped. See, deha bheda has got two meanings. One is while living in the body, and when we drop our identification with that body, the notion that this body is me, then tritiyam, the third, is the absolute reality that you get. Third, but in Adarupa it is called fourth. Turiya it is called, isn't it? Chaturtham manyante. The fourth is called, but now you are saying tritiyam. I think this Upanishad is something different, you know. It is telling different things. Not same only. You see, Atma is called fourth when you say waking, dream, deep sleep, and then with reference to that three, you say it is fourth. But actually, waking and dream, they are similar only. Therefore, because in waking state also you see objects and go through different sets of experiences. In dream also, so that way both waking and dream are same. So if you join them, combine them together, then it is one. Deep sleep is two. Then what you call fourth is tritiyam only. Oh, that way. Okay. Tritiyam. That's what in other Upanishads called chaturtham. Turiyam. Chaturtham. But that the Shuddha Atma, that's what is called realized. That is, when we drop identification with our body. And remember, when we say body, does not mean only gross body. Because you know there are three dehas are there, Sthula Deha, Sukshma Deha, Karana Deha. So our gross body is there, gross body, then subtle body is our mind, intellect, and the third, Karana Sharira, that is Avidyamaya. When we drop identification with all of them, then what happens? Suddenly you realize, oh, this Atma Tattva I am. Tutiyam Vede Vishwa Aishwaryam Kevala Apta Kamaha. And then what happens? The whole prosperity, lordship of the world is yours then. Huh? Because you have dropped identification with little thing, you know. And then you are Kevala. Kevala means one alone without a second. Apta Kamaha, Purna Kamaha. All desires are fulfilled at one stroke then. Either it is said all desires are fulfilled at one stroke, or it is said all desires only vanish. Because remember, all these desires which we have countless, all the desires are really only for one thing, and that is our total completeness, fullness, fulfillment, happiness, Purna Ananda only. So when you get Purna Ananda, why should you desire anything? So either you say all desires are fulfilled, or you say all desires go away. Apta Kama, that means I am fulfilled. I got total sense of fulfillment. And the whole universe, whole lordship, because I have now united myself with the Lord, तो फिर मेरे पास किस चीज़ की कमी है? Then you don't lack anything. Whatever is needed, it will come to you. You know, you must have seen the Bhagwan, Ishvara, Lord Sri Krishna and all that. He didn't carry his Sudarshan Chakra or this or that with him or anything. But if he needed in that Rajasuya, he only has to just raise his finger. वो चक्र जहाँ भी होगा वहाँ पे आ जाएगा, वहाँ पे गया शिशुपाल के पीछे. शिशुपाल. You see, you may be having lot of money, but do you have to carry all that with you? You don't have to carry, isn't it? It is in the bank. It is there. So you carry only one card, credit card, master card. I don't know which card, whichever card you carry on. But the way they take out the card and all that, you know. Now I don't have to. I cannot show you really because. सारे पैसा अपने आप ट्रांसफर हो गया इधर उधर. That is one thing. Or you don't need anything. When you need, पता नहीं, Vishwaishwaryam, the whole lordship of the universe, that is there, and Bhagavan says, दे दो इसको. Something happens. Idea here is, when we identify only with these little things, our body, we become so small. And when we understand this Paramatma is my Swarupa, then what? The whole Aishwarya, the lordship you call, the prosperity you call, the wealth of the universe, everything is yours. And Apta Kama, you are fulfilled. Acha, Deha Bhede, one meaning is when we drop our identification. That's called Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means liberated while living. And Deha Bheda, if you take the meaning, when the body only disintegrates. So because some people say, okay, while living in the body, I am liberated. But when the body is dead, suppose the bondage comes again. Bondage will not come again. कोई भूत थोड़ी बैठा हुआ कि फिर से पकड़ेगा. Nothing happens that, no. When knowledge has come, ignorance goes away. Ignorance only creates bondage. When the ignorance is not there, how can bondage come again? So that's called Deha Bhede, means Videha Mukti also. Both are pointed out here. Liberated while living, and after the death of the body also that person is liberated. Now, Etad Jneyam Nityamevatma Samstham Nata Param Veditavyam Hi Kinchit Bhokta Bhogyam Preritaram Chamatva Sarvam Proktam Trividam Brahmametat. Now, Etad Jneyam, this is the truth. That's what you have got to know. And where is this truth? Nityam eva atma samstham. It is nitya, eternal, and it is always there in your own heart. You are that. That's what you have to know. And na atah param veditavyam hi kinchit. And there is nothing more to know for you. Nothing more you have to know. Because atah param nasti. Isn't it? Tattva jnanat param nasti. Purushanna param kinchit. Beyond Purusha, other than Purusha, there is nothing. If there is something more, can there be something more than infinity? Other than, higher than, more than infinity, there cannot be. And so once you have known that is what is your Swarupa, na atah param veditavyam. There is nothing more to be known thing that is. And that's what in Atma Bodha said, yad jnatvana puram jneyam tad brahmetyavadharayat. Having known which there remains nothing more to know, that is Brahman. And what you come to know, that this one Brahman is only bhokta bhogyam preritaram cha matva. Understanding that Brahman alone appeared as the bhokta, the jiva, the enjoyer, the experiencer. This only appears bhogya, the object of enjoyment. And preritaram, the motivator of both of them, that's called Ishvara. It is this only. Sarvam proktam trividham brahmavetat. All that which is being said, it is nothing but this one Brahman alone. Having known this, there is nothing more to know. Khel khatam. Afterwards, it is over. Huh? Now the following two verses are pointing out beautifully what I call the process of realizing the truth with the help of meditation. Because just now it was said, you meditate on the self. Correct? So you say, you should tell me how to meditate. And for me, some kind of help also you should give, You don't leave me helpless like that, Chalo, now meditate. Don't leave me just like that, You tell me how to meditate. And that's what is said in the next two mantras. So these two mantras will have to be read together. Vanner yatha yoni gatasya murtihi na drishyate naiva cha linganashaha sabhuya eva indhana yoni griyaha tadvo bhayam vai pranavena dehe swadeha maranim krutva pranavam chottaranim dhyana nirmatana abhyasat devam pashye nigudavat. Now, it is said, Vanner yatha, Vanni means fire. Yatha, just as, Vanner yatha, yoni gatasya murtihe na drishyate. Yoni here means the cause, the source. Now let's take a firewood. That is the yoni of that fire. Now when you see the firewood, do you see fire there? Yatha, just as yoni gatasya vannehe murtihi na drishyate. Just as in the firewood, the form of fire is not seen. Naivacha linganashaha. And also there is no destruction of that subtle form of that fire. See, but yatha sa bhuyaha eva indhana yoni griyaha. Just as the same fire, that is the firewood, which is not seen, but it is not seen, but that not it is not there. It is there, and then you light up that. Then what happens? Griyate. The form is seen. Tada ubhayam vai pranavena dehe. So what you see, the grosser form of that fire, manifest form of fire you see, and even when you put out that fire, don't think there is a destruction of fire. Only that manifest form has again become latent. That's what you are not seeing it. But fire is there. Right? In the same way, pranavena dehe. In the pranavena, through the help of pranava, Om, then this Atma can be realized. So many people say, you say Atma is there in everyone. But generally people don't say, but I don't see in me. They generally say, but I don't see in him. Such a dushta purusha is. So the other is only dushta purusha. See, however wicked person may be, but Chaitanya Atma is there also. But yoni gataha. It is in its own source. It is not seen, but it is there. Everywhere that Atma Tattva is there. So just as in the firewood or whatever is the source of fire, that fire, the manifest form of fire is not seen, and therefore the benefit of that or advantage of that is not experienced by people. But it can be manifested. In the same way, here also, Swadeham Aranim Krutva. Swadeham, one's own body, is the lower arani, lower wooden cup. And Pranavam cha Uttararanim. And Pranava Om is the upper wooden cup. This example is very famous in the so many Upanishads also that comes, Uttararanim. Jnana or Dhyana Nirmathana Abhyasat. And when the churning is done, Devam Pashe Nigudavata. Then at that time you can see the Deva manifesting. Now everybody knows, you must have heard this. You have been listening to Vedanta also. In rituals, when the ritual is done in a very orthodox manner, then when they light up the fire in that Agni Kunda, what they do, it's called churning of fire, Agni Manthanam. And there are two wooden cups are there. One like a rod goes a cylindrical, then the ropes are there. And how earlier days they used to do what we call churning of buttermilk. Yogurt and that. कितनी अच्छी आवाज आती थी उसमें ब्रुक 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 ब्रुक. And now that is a horrible sound that which is there, electric or that, karkash. So churning is called churning. So here it is called, so my Swadeham, that I am down identified with the body is called a Jiva. The Pranava, Om iti Brahma, and that Om is Brahman. And it's Dhyana Nirmathanam, this churning meditation. That means I have to understand I am not this body, I am not the Jiva, but I am this Brahman. Naham dehaha brahma eva asmi. Naham dehaha brahma eva asmi. I am not the body, but I am Brahman. And it is then, just as then churning is done. You see, we have seen that actually, when our Ganesh temple in Chinmay Vibhuti, Prana Pratishtha time, those priests, they actually did that this way only. And we saw how they were doing it. And fire. And then you see the fire. Or just as the buttermilk, that also examples are given. So just even though that butter is there in the milk, but we don't see that. Right? But there is a process of seeing that. And then you will see it very clearly. So now here, idea here, the meditation is done with the help of pranava. Now, how to do that? So, first of all, we have to understand this pranava Om is Brahman. And that is my nature. So, now what you have to do in this way? In this order, when you sit for meditation, when the mind is relatively calm and quiet, and then when you chant Om, and listen to this Om. See, the knowledge must have taken place earlier that this Om is this Chaitanya Brahma. With this knowledge only you chant. And then you listen to that. And then the mind will become more calm. And thereafterwards, that the silence that is there between two utterance, you pay attention to that. And then there will be a time when even the silence also is looked objectively, as though I am watching this silence, but I myself becomes that silence. That's called Tattva Bhava. And that's what is indicated there. That is Chaitanya Brahma, and that is me. This knowledge must take place. So that is called, with the help of this meditation, with the help of Om, meditate on this true self. And whatever then, see what happens then. करके तो देखो. So many times, without doing only we want, no, explain. ऐसा कितना explain करेंगे? Because there are certain things that, they are explained now, certain things we have to do it. So that is for every one of us have to do it. No, and what happens, we keep on asking, वो समाधि का अनुभव कैसे होता है? Can you explain what is that, experience of samadhi? And we remain only in Jagrat. And then how to say samadhi कैसे होता है? ज्ञानी पुरुष क्या लगता है उस समय? What does the jnani purusha feel at that time? Or about there is no feeling? So we keep on asking that. But the best thing is we must do something. Now there are again 2 more. I think then the first chapter will be over. And then so next 2 mantras are there still for the first chapter. Very beautiful examples are also given there. And then we'll enter into the next chapter. That is something very, very beautiful. The style is little different. Okay. So now, Shanti. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.